This your boy JG. This is the Punch Report. Look, listen, you can tell by the setup. I'm currently on the road. You see my pup. She sleep on the bed. But Stephen Fulton, Inoue, it goes down in really a few hours now. This fight is taking place in Japan, so the time skew is different. I mean, they're fighting technically on a Tuesday. It's Monday at the time of me recording this video, but some of you guys were asking for a breakdown, and I can't get a super detailed one with all the video examples that I would normally use, but I did want to speak about this fight. Obviously, we know about the wrap situation, stacking the wraps. Tim Bradley came out and gave a pretty good detailed account as to why the stacking of the wraps can be problematic for a fighter who has good technique and good power, such as Inoue, and the problems that could pose for Stephen Fulton. But that part aside, I do think that's a significant issue. I mean, we've weighed in, they faced off, they looked crazy and swolled up and they was doing their thing. So we're in the position now. Let's just talk about the fight and how I see it. Now, for those of you who don't know, Inoue is coming up to face Stephen Fulton. I think he's two-belt champion at this point in time. How does this fight play out? I heard someone mention that, I forgot who it was, but they mentioned that Stephen Fulton's like a smaller version of Devin Haney, and I couldn't disagree more. Both talented fighters, very, very well-rounded, very technical. I think Stephen Fulton has a little more in his toolbox. If you look at the Brendan Figueroa fight, he just went toe-to-toe and banged, and he just went crazy. But you've also seen situations where Fulton lived behind the jab, really went to the body extremely well, showed variety, showed distance, and also showed power in some instances. I think that he's a complete, well-rounded fighter. He's a champion for a reason. How does he stack up against Inoue? Inoue, what do we know about Inoue? Good speed, good power, tenacious. I think he could be a little reckless when he closes the distance, but he's been in tough against some guys despite, being able to find finishes. And then he has the ability to make adjustments. Nonito Donier, when they fought the first time, for those of you who don't know, that was a highly competitive bout. Donier, I think, broke his orbital bone or broke his nose. A tough fight, Inoue came out on top. They rematched. Inoue just destroyed him, cooked Donier. And I don't know if that's even something worth mentioning from that perspective, because Nonito at this point is fighting so much further into his professional career than what is absolutely necessary, and still fighting at a high level to be competitive against some of the best guys in the world still is notable. How do the styles mesh? How do they match up? What I'm going to do for this video is give two opportunities for success for both fighters. I'm going to start with Inoue. You punch really, really hard. You close the distance medium well, like a steak. I think where he's going to have a high level of success, like he typically does, is if he can put damage on Fulton and then close, his hook is there, his right hand is there. He's able to generate so much power from such very short, crisp, very technical punches. Everything is where it needs to be, and get guys on weird angles and walk them into power and dispatch of them. So his power is going to be the one key. The second key for Inoue is this. If he has to kind of make it a bit dirty. While he's highly technical, he's not a greater skilled boxer than Fulton. Fulton can live at all ranges, right? Long distance, mid distance, and fight on the inside. And that was really the difference between him and Figueroa. If you take a look at the clips, or if you go back and look at the highlights for that particular bout, if you look at the Fulton fight, he understood, this being Fulton against Figueroa. All right, this dude's busy, he's active, he's a high volume guy. But the difference between Figueroa and Fulton was this. Fulton was still so very technical. So even though they're in their trenches and they're throwing, they're trading, he was getting maximum leverages on shots, and his counterpunching ability was far more significant than that of Figueroa. I don't want to see him in exchanges with Inoue like that, but I digress just a bit. If you're Inoue and you try to live on the outside too much and be cute, you could get picked apart. He's got to figure out a way to make the fight a little more ugly. If he can make it look like a Brendan Figueroa fight, he wins by stoppage. If Inoue can make it messy, get on the inside, force exchanges, because that's the most dangerous place to be as a fighter, he can make it a bout where he can win by stoppage, and brutal stoppage, in my opinion. If you go over to the cool boy Fulton, Seth Fulton, he has to show variety. He has to be dangerous and live inside that range I told him not to be in, but also come out at mid-range, pepper, change levels, utilize the jab, move, and kind of be bordering on boring. And I use that term because that's what the haters use. What I'm really saying is box, be technical, move well, and then mix it up in spots. Because he can do all these things, and we've seen him do all of these things. I don't think he'll have an issue doing it. But the power of Inoue is not to be played with. If you want to be cute, you will get caught slipping and bodied. How do I see that? Oh, excuse me. Before I break down how I see it happen, Stephen Fulton, mix it up, box really well, do your thing. We got you. The second thing is this for Fulton as a key to victory. I said 2-2. A key to victory for Fulton. It is imperative that his defense is crispy because a shot. I've seen guys hold the ear beautifully, catch an anticipated shot, and then in a way he just lands it right in this range and folds dudes like laundry. Motherfuckers getting folded like love letters. So the defense has to be crisp. He has to demonstrate variety, and he has to mid distance to long distance is going to be the key to victory for Fulton. How do I see it playing out ultimately is this. I'm going to pause for effect. Cool Boy Fulton is a better overall fighter. He has more tools, more variety. He can do more things than Inoue. However, Inoue has the great equalizer of crisp, clean power and the ability to apply it effectively and efficiently. With that being said, this is one of the closest fights that I've ever tried to break down or call. I give the one advantage to Fulton that Inoue is coming up in weight to try to get this done. It truly is a coin flip fight, 50-50 fight. How do I see it playing out? If there's a stoppage, it's going to be on the Inoue side, and it'll be late. I'm not anticipating a stoppage. I think you see close decisions split in either direction. I don't typically ride the fence on fights, but Inoue coming up, that presents complexities. The fight's taking place in Japan. So if it goes to the scorecards and Fulton didn't pitch a shutout, you know it's going to be some crazy shit. I think that Fulton's good enough to not worry about getting stopped. He might get hurt, buzzed, dropped, or whatever. If you see a scenario where Inoue just blows through Fulton, then we really need to start. Like, they have him as a pound-for-pound guy now. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. If he runs through Fulton coming up in weight, he's definitely pound-for-pound in my humble opinion. But you see me struggle, which I don't typically do when I make these predictions. A close competitive bout. I don't see a stoppage. If there is a stoppage, I see it in favor of Inoue. I'll be interested to see if the rap thing plays a role. Shit. As of right now, we still might not get the fight because his team. Somebody dropped a hilarious video of Steph Fulton when his team or his coach was like, if this is not rectified, my fighter will not be entering the ring. He's like, yo. He said, hey, what? Hey, no one sent me that via email. I didn't get that text. So just something to think about, something to keep an eye on. Ultimately, competitive, close fight, exciting fight. If Fulton decides he just wants to throw the game plan away and mix it up exclusively, I think he gets stopped. If he can box mid-distance to long distance and then creep on the inside for some good exchanges, I think he has a recipe for success right there. In a way, sometimes gets impatient. He's similar to Bud Crawford. Like, if you catch him, he wants to get it back right away. That can spell trouble against a really highly technical fighter, a patient fighter, a fighter with a high ring IQ like Stephen Fulton. I'm on the fence for this fight. I'm going to go with a decision of some sort. It being in Japan does not bode well. Steph Fulton's going to have to come out and pitch a complete shutout, or it's not going to go his way on the cards, or he got to get a stoppage. This is your boy JG. This is the Punch Report. Let me know what you guys think. What are your thoughts on the fight? I know this is short notice, but I didn't want to not get this video out, so we've got that done. Shout out to you all. Hey, just remember, Saturday, July 29th, we less than a week out. Errol Spence Jr., Terrence Bud Crawford. More videos to come on that, and we out.